Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Let me tell you something, man. Shakur Foster defeated Ray Ford. And the excitement at the end of the fight with Shakur Stevenson um, being there ringside, going back and forth with Shakur Foster, man, was great. Then Shakur got in the ring, and the back and forth continued. But let me just say this. You know, they have a saying, like you watch the Kung Fu movies, only a ninja can kill a ninja. And that shit proved true tonight. Shakur Foster and Ray Ford, if this was a Kung Fu movie, it would be two ninjas going at it. And I said ninjas, right? Not what y'all think I'm saying. Because everything Ray Ford was doing early in that fight, man, you could see it was very close, man. You know, I could see maybe the first 5 rounds or 6 rounds, people having the shit even. But you just saw the first 6 rounds. Check hooks, pull counters, swivel jabs. I mean, straight right, straight left, orthodox versus southpaw. I mean, you just saw some shit. Absolutely amazing watching these guys, skill for skill, patience. Shakur Foster taking a little half a step back, sometimes taking 2 steps back, you know what I'm saying? Then looking to kind of pivoting out, Ray Ford doing the same thing. Got a little bit crazy when Shakur Foster threw Ray Ford out the ring. I don't care what you say. That wasn't an accident. Yeah, you know, these guys have fancy feet and they know how to turn opponents and everything like that. But Shakur Foster threw Ray Ford. Well, did he intend for him to go out the ring? I don't think so, but he definitely intended to throw his ass across the ring, maybe into the ropes. I don't know what he's trying to do, have him come off the ropes and then clothesline him like a WWE move and shit. But the bottom line is, man, it was really impressive watching these two. But you know what made the ultimate difference? It's not the corners. It was the expanded gas tank. Shakur Foster just had an expanded gas tank. He just had more stamina, better conditioning. You know what I'm saying? Now, when sometimes when you hear a person say fighter A had better conditioning than fighter B, sometimes it can be interpreted as you're saying that one fighter was out of shape. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is both of them were in outstanding shape, but Shakur Foster had the ability to up it and to not just get a second win, third win, fourth win, but to maybe get a 6th, 7th, and 8th win. And that's ultimately what made the difference in that fight. I mean, those guys, skill for skill, they're there. You know what I mean? They're very evenly matched. That's why that fight was so great. You know, you watch two guys in there boxing, but it wasn't boring. You can just see the skill. You can see the anticipation. You can see them waiting to capitalize on mistakes. You even saw it get a bit physical in there with it, both of them being cool with it. Nobody complaining. At times when they see the other fighter have a bit of success, they laugh and smile. You know, they have a saying, real recognize real. Now, don't get me wrong. They're not going to be friends. They don't like each other. But that was a damn good fight. I got to give a whole lot of respect to Ray Ford, a whole lot of respect to Shakur Foster. I picked Foster to win. That don't mean I have a crystal ball and shit. The reason why I'm so high on Shakur Foster, and I like Ray Ford, but it goes back to when I saw him fight Ray Vargas. When I saw that fight, I was like, what the hell am I watching? You can just see something special was there. I was watching, I'm like, yo, this dude is a monster, man. Speed, timing, darting in and out, lateral movement. I mean, check hooks. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. I was like, yo, my man looking like a damn young Mayweather in there. That's how he easily dominated Ray Vargas. So I always expect Shakur Foster to be able to up it when he needs to. He does it in almost every fight. He just has the ability to do that. And I think if Ray Ford, his conditioning would have been better. And remember, again, his conditioning was superb. It's just so Shakur Foster was a notch above. But anyway, now the fight is Shakur Stevenson. You know Shakur Stevenson, I whip your ass, Nia. Everything I like Shakur Stevenson. So let me get that out the way. And look, this, I know everybody's not going to agree. I ain't young anymore. When I was young, my mouth was crazy and shit like that. So I don't knock these young guys, you know. When I hear that N-word being used like that on TV like that in front of the world, it just stings me. But I understand being young. Um, but I'm not gonna let that come and take away from what I'm gonna say about Shakur Stevenson. I'll be real with you. I like O'Shaquie Foster. I favor O'Shaquie Foster in almost every fight. But I was looking at the size difference between the two of them. I know Shakir's not ready. He's not cutting for a fight, so he's at his walk around weight. But the height and everything else, and I think O'Shaquie Foster's arms may be just as long or longer than Shakir's. His arms were longer than Ray Ford's. I know that. I saw them standing and facing off, and I was like, damn, O'Shaquie got long arms. But it's kind of hard to go against Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? It is I don't know what happened between the two of them in sparring. Shakur talking about he made him quit, or Shakur talking about, he beat Shakur and his team and he made him quit, and Shakur came back and he had some good moments, but ultimately, like Shakur was dominating Shakur. All I know is this: that's the fight to make now. There's a lot of hype around that fight. Is that a mega fight? I don't know if I want to say that. With Shakur involved, it makes it a mega fight. But O'Shaquie Foster, I don't think his profile is not where Shakur's is. In addition, to make that fight happen, is Shakur really willing to come all the way back down to 135? You know what I'm saying? Is O'Shaquie Foster going to be cool with going up to 140? So that's what I'm looking at. What weight are these guys going to fight at? But I'm just telling you, man, the hype is there. You know what I'm saying? The storyline is there. And if they package it up the right way, they could get a whole lot of hype behind Shakur Stevenson or O'Shaquie Foster. Especially tapping into O'Shaquie Foster's background and the fact that he was, in jail, facing 20 years, I think, for attempted murder. Like, you don't want to glamorize people making mistakes. If that was the case, I think we all would have a pretty interesting interview. You know what I'm saying? If depending on who you had talking to you, I think the interview could get interesting because sometimes people want to glamorize the mistakes we made when we were younger. But if you get the right person to interview you, you can touch on that without glamorizing it, but to draw attention to some of the setbacks people face in the poor choices and how they evolved. And I just think the right person leading the marketing of this fight, the build up, the interviews, I think we can get, this could be some HBO 24/7 shit right here. You know what I'm saying? Because Ray Ford, close to Shakur. A lot of people, man, who are picking Ray Ford to beat O'Shaquie Foster. Of course, they all kind of in the same camp and they all cool with each other, but I was surprised to see that. But I just think it's an interesting storyline then for Shakur Stevenson. Of course, the Olympics, what he's been able to do. I think it's one, two, three weight divisions. He's 4 weight divisions, man. Shakur, 4 weight divisions. It's absolutely amazing, man. But anyway, I'm looking forward to see how this whole thing plays out. Will the fight be next? I doubt it. I just think Shakur wants to fight him, but I think Shakur wants big money, big fights. And someone like O'Shaquie Foster is a high risk, even though I think Shakur beats him, but still. And I just gotta be real. I like O'Shaquie Foster, but I gotta be real. Shakur is a different animal, man. But I'm curious to see what happens because something happened in sparring. And look, sparring. But something happened. Because is it just me? Was Shakur out of character? He was really agitated. Like he was angry. You could tell like he wanted to punch O'Shaquie, man. He was pissed. And I was like, why the hell is he so mad? Anyway, man. Damn good fight. Ray Ford, he don't have nothing to be ashamed of. O'Shaquie Foster, congrats to him. And Shakur Stevenson, he always ready to fight somebody, man. That's one thing about Shakur. Shakur stay turned on all the time. He ready to scrap. And I like that about him. Anyway, we'll see what they decide to do. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.